For today's intro, we're going to be going on a tour of my redstone testing world. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, Jinx, that's going to take a really long time, right? Can you just get onto the video already? And to that I say, why don't you shut up, you ungrateful little... We're going on this tour whether you like it or not. Grand reveal in 3, 2, 1... Yeah, it's empty. I get it. Look, I don't know what you all expected. I'm a builder. I don't do any redstone. All right, we're standing in front of the tree that I built in the last episode. Still think it looks pretty good. Now, you may be wondering, Jinx, what is that chest right next to you? Well, I did some off-camera mining. What a YouTuber thing to say. Look at this. I got a lot of stuff. There was coal. I used it to smelt all of this, so it would look more presentable. As you can see, I had quite a bit of ores, and I built them up into this pillar, and then I mined it again, which actually took kind of a long time, and I will never do that again because it's a huge waste of time. But anyway, I did that, and it looks kind of cool, and there you go. That is not the only thing I did in between episodes, though, because you may notice this area over here is looking quite different. And if we take a look, you can see that I have done some terraforming. It does not look good, I'll be the first to say that, but I really just set it up. You can think of this as a blank canvas to do some real terraforming on. This is the area we're going to be working on in today's episode, if that wasn't incredibly obvious already. And this actually took a lot longer than I was expecting it to take. As you can see, it's a large area, and it uses a lot more dirt than you would think, and I ended up placing a whole lot of dirt because this entire island was completely flat before I started, so this took longer than expected, and as you can also see, I am stealing the dirt from this island over here, the small one, because I do want this to be more flat, and this is going to take even more terraforming since it doesn't look good right now, and I need to build some buildings over there, but that is not going to happen today. This area is now ready to be worked on, and so I'm not really going to waste much time dilly-dallying. Let's kind of get planning this area out real quick. I will want the path to kind of run through here, and I'm going to build a couple of windmills over here because those are things that go in wheat fields, I think. Honestly, I don't know. It's a very generic thing to build, but I'm going to do it because I still think it'll look pretty cool. So where should those go? Where should I put them? Hold on. Where? I think I'll put one where I'm standing right now and one over here on this area. I think that would make the most sense, and when you go over to the bridge over here, like this view, just having them kind of separated, like one further in the back and one further forward, I think will look pretty nice, and it makes sense to put them on the highest elevation. Now allow me to lay out a circle. All right, so this is going to be the size that they are right here. Not too big. They will be relatively tall, and so I'll still need quite a few resources to build both of them, but I don't think I want to start with these builds. I think I just want to start by getting all the wheat down so that we actually have a wheat field first. I should also kind of run this path over. I figure I'll just kind of continue it down this way and then have it run out and just pass by both of these. The whole place is filled in, trust me. I promise it's all filled in, I promise, I would never lie. Alright, I kind of think that something like this might just do the trick. I mean, it's super simple. I just kind of had the path weave through this area and then make its way up here and then just go to both of the eventual windmills. Honestly, the path block is kind of growing on me a little bit. With all the rest of this terraforming in, it looks pretty good. I'm still not sure if I'm going to stick with it forever or not, or if I'll just add a little bit of texture and keep some path block. But with all the rest of the terraforming, it's pretty nice. Like, the color is pretty nice. So I might keep it. I don't know. We'll see. Excuse me? We're just pals. It's fine. All right, what I'm going to need to do now is go get my hoe and start turning this entire place into fields. I'm going to basically put all wheat. It would probably be a smart idea to add a few trees, kind of like this one maybe, in this area. One or two, maybe one that size and a couple of smaller ones just to help break it up a bit more. But I think I'm going to get all the wheat put in first and the windmills built before I do... Horse, I'm not sure my hoe will survive this. I might have to make another diamond hoe, but my house, it's been destroyed. I think an Enderman probably took that. I'm gonna have to turn off the thing where Enderman... Oh wait, my armor's not on. I was not sure why I took damage there. It's because I took my armor off for the intro. Gotta wear my armor. Anyway, though, as I was trying to say, I need to turn off the thing where Endermen can pick up blocks so that they don't just remove my landscaping. And I also was trying to say even before that I think I'm going to just get these fields and windmills built before I put in any trees for two reasons. One, who knows if I'll have time to build trees, and two, I don't know exactly where I want to put them, so I kind of want to see the whole thing before I decide to put in any trees. So at this point, this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing for a while here, is just kind of making fields, I guess. I'm definitely going to get planting my seeds right now as well, so that the wheat will grow as I am building out all these farms, and I should be able to fill up the entire thing by the time it's over. And, you know, if I can't, then I do have a whole bunch of bone meal, so I think the wheat fields will actually be full of wheat here. Frankly, though, I think I've done enough yap, and time to get on with the building. Hey, do not destroy my field. Do not do that. Get out of here. You guys are lucky I'm nice, okay? I'll spare you as long as my fields are not destroyed. Anything that spawns on these fields are just gonna run all over, trample everything. Don't kill each other. I'm gonna leave the llamas here for now. I think they must attack hostile mobs because they all keep dying. Look at this. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I just did it. Trampling my own fields. What is this? Did they ruin anything else? I hope not. You guys have no idea, genuinely, the amount of seeds that I have placed. It's so many. I'm afraid I may have slightly underestimated just how much wheat this farm was going to hold. The wheat field is like 3 times the size of the other 3 fields combined. This had better look absolutely incredible when it's done. Okay, that's it. I've done it. They're all done. 4,782 seeds later, and I'm done. Let's take a look at this at least here. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of wheat. Look at all the wheat that I've collected just from trying to fill this field with wheat. Like this is just the wheat I collected in order to get more seeds. I don't think I'm ever going to need to mine this field ever. This makes the thing I worked on in the last episode look so minuscule in comparison to this, and I've just begun. I've just begun. It's not even close to being over. I haven't even gotten to the builds for today yet, which, by the way, I thought they were going to look bigger, but they look tiny now. Which is probably fine. I don't really want them to take up that much space. Excuse me? What are you doing out here? Huh? I don't know if I'll have time to get to the rest of the terraforming, like the rocks and bushes and grass and stuff that obviously needs to be placed all over here. We'll see. That's going to be a lot of work too, I imagine. I still think maybe a tree or two, some smaller ones would be nice out here, but yeah, I don't know where to place them, so I'm just going to start thinking about these builds, I guess. I'm going to just go ahead and collect these resources that I'm going to need, and I guess I'll get back to you once I have everything. All right, I have been gathering resources. I'm just about done. I think I should have everything that I'll need, and probably a little bit extra, but, you know, at this point it's become clear to me that I'm a hoarder. So last step, of course, is going to be to make a little bit of this packed mud here, and luckily I have a little bit of wheat now. And so I think that now this should be just about everything. Oh, wait, copper? I laid out a whole bunch of copper back here to start oxidizing, and it's mostly there, so I'm going to collect a bunch of this. This is definitely more copper than I will need, so I'll leave the rest of it out here to oxidize until it's done. I guess I'll just grab everything that's finished. When I tell you copper takes the longest time ever to oxidize, I mean it just does. Nothing in this game takes longer, maybe. You might as well just be watching paint dry. That would probably be more of a spectacle. I'm going to need some bees, or more accurately, I'll need some honeycomb in order to wax these things. Not all of them are going to be in the fully oxidized state. Most of them will be, but not all. And so I'm going to need a few beehives. And in order to get beehives, I have to get bees. And I do plan on stealing the bees and bringing them to an undisclosed location. And now that it's night, the bees will go back into their beehives, and then I can just kind of grab them and take them with me. Hey, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, it has 2 bees in it. Nice. Okay. Here's another one right here. I'll take this one. And this one has 3 bees. Very nice. That's a lot of bees. Well, I'm not really seeing any more beehives around this area, so I guess 5 bees is probably okay for the time being. Get it? These bees can just live in my house. That was a brilliant pun. Yes, great by me. Way to go. What a great pun, am I right? Well, if you want more beautiful puns like that, make sure to subscribe right now. Do it now. I can see you. Do it. Do it. I'm waiting. Do it. Do it. If you don't subscribe right now, I will be bewildered. I will be bewildered. Haha, I'm so funny. Honestly, they're just so breathtaking? I don't think that one works very well. Okay, back to the video. Absolutely incredible. My bedroom is so lovely. Look at how lovely this is now. This is incredible. This is great. Yeah, this is gonna have to be an extremely temporary solution. You guys are fine hanging out with some bees, aren't you? And so now, I just plop these guys right there, and I should be able to collect honeycomb whenever they actually get around to making any. This is not what I expected my bedroom to look like when I set out to build this house. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I will be building a bee house very soon. Nothing makes your home feel like a home more than having a bunch of bees in it. But anyway, I mean, 12 honeycomb is at least enough to start with, so I'm gonna go get started on this build. Don't mind this dirt. A creeper may have blown up my house. However, I have other concerns right now than my starter base becoming an absolute disaster. And I'd kind of like to go through a bit of my building process or my thought process with all of you here. Hopefully my thoughts aren't all jumbled around in my head the whole time and it makes sense what I'm doing here. And this here is going to be pretty much the color palette I'm going with. You can see layer 1 is going to be made up of brick and granite with some dark oak trims. And the second level is going to be mostly comprised of bone block, and I'm going to use these other 3 blocks as a bit of shading. It's kind of hard to get an idea of what that will look like on this small of a scale, but then the roof is going to just be made out of some blackstone, probably with a bit of a spruce trim, and we're going to throw a wind turbine on that, of course. That's what makes it a windmill. Kind of hard to explain just by looking at this little creation here, so I'm just going to hop into the build, and we're just going to be starting out with some dark oak supports, which I will, of course, be stripping to probably make sure this border down here is filled in too, or just like that. This is a giant pain in the butt for something that probably nobody's going to notice, but it needs to be done. Just place some dirt, and there you go. All right, then, as far as the walls are concerned, it's going to be mostly made up of brick and granite. I'm going to throw a little bit of mossy cobble in around the bottom in some areas, probably. And I also might just toss in the weeest bit of dirt to these walls, here and there, maybe. I actually think it blends relatively well with the granite especially, and it kind of fits the vibes. Maybe that's too much. I do want this building to look a bit run down over here, and so this is kind of the aesthetic we're going to go for on the bottom here with these walls. And just like that, all of the walls are in. Now, for a little bit of detail here on the bottom, I didn't bring a crafting table or a stone cutter over here. Both of those will be kind of important, huh? I'm always incredibly prepared for builds, as you can see. I think I'll put a cherry stair right here. That's lovely. And a little button. Boom. Put a couple signs right here as some kind of support or something. I'm not really sure, but it looks kind of cool. And then some fences here in the top will be cool. Now up here, I'm going to put another border of some more dark oak logs. And on the outside of these, I'm going to throw in some mud walls. This shade isn't my favorite, but it's the closest to these other brown colors that we're using that I could get, so I guess it's gonna have to do. Make sure this border goes all the way around, and I'm gonna strip these planks, of course, or logs. These are logs, not planks. And I'm gonna slap some trap doors right about here. And then some spruce signs, just like so. That's looking very nice. And this is just about the first layer complete. So let's move up to the second layer now. So again, this layer is going to be this middle layer here. That's going to be primarily bone block. But there's going to be some darker areas, and I kind of want to use oak logs and birch logs for those shadows, and hopefully this will make more sense once I complete this. And then sandstone will blend these pretty nicely. And you know what? I haven't actually finished the first layer, I just realized, because I kind of want to add a little bit more to buff it out, I guess. So it's going to throw in a few fun details here, including these barrel stairs right here, like so. Slap a slab right down there on top of the barrel, and then trap doors, just like so, here and here. And that looks like this. I think it looks quite nice. You know what? I need to strip these logs. So now hopefully you can kind of see how this shadow is going to work, and this will just blend into the bone block there. We'll have a window right here in the middle. Then right around here on the edges, I'm going to kind of alternate some fences and some wood brick walls Or not wood brick, or not brick at all, mud brick. That's what I meant to say. Yep, that's right. And boom, there's a wall. It's looking pretty nice. Look at that shading. Look at that shadow. Now I just have to do that 3 more times. And wall's finished. Looking fantastic. Okay, so this roof is going to be a bit interesting. Okay, I want to put a border of spruce, so I'm going to put some trapdoors just on these fences right here. And then around the outside, I'm going to put some more trapdoors just like so. And then I think I will continue the trim with trapdoors like so, maybe. Ah, and I've run out of trapdoors. I think I was 1 short. That's fantastic. That's great. Trapdoors just have the most absurdly expensive crafting recipe ever. You need 3 entire planks for 1 trapdoor. That's the ratio we're doing here? I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna put a slab here, here, and here, and it's just occurred to me that I've used the rest of my planks to create these trapdoors, so I'm gonna need to get more wood. I love early game, you know? It's sometimes nice to just do things the old-fashioned way, to walk around your base and not fly, but I really could use an elytra about now. Going up and down this thing is driving me up the wall. I mean, I would like to be driven. I have to go up and down the wall, so that's, you know what, whatever. But anyway, I was just going to put some planks right in here. Okay, and then I want this roof to be kind of dome-shaped. Actually, I need the one in the front to be a little bit different, since this is where the wind turbine, the turbine part of the turbine, what do you call this? The fan? I don't know. This is where the fan's going to be coming off. I will work on that later. For now, I'm just going to put a placeholder block in, and instead of slabs there, I'm going to slap some stairs down. Well, then let's start getting this roof in, and getting the shape of these roofs is usually very annoying. So I think maybe just some stairs like this, and then I'll throw blocks down here in the middle like that. And then maybe slabs up on top of these blocks right here. So then I will put another block right here. Let's try and round this off some. So now I'm kind of thinking I put block here like that. And then to round off these corners, I have walls, which I think will work the best for this. And then I'm going to finish up just by kind of that. I think this roof may be shaped correctly. I probably want to put a light up here so that mobs don't spawn on the roof and then fall from the sky and land on my head. For now, though, I think that looks all right. I think that looks pretty good. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but it does look roundish. That's not the right button. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that looks like a dome, I guess. I think that shape is okay. Do I want it to be taller on that? Maybe I put a slab here. Honestly, I think that's fine. I think it's good. I'm going to call that good, and I'm going to call that shape okay. Now let's focus on the main attraction of this build, which is, of course, going to be the propeller, not a propeller, that's not what you call it. A fan? We'll call it a fan. Now, to be fully transparent, I already planned this part out in creative mode, because designing a good shape for these fans can be pretty difficult, and I just did not want to deal with that. First things first, I want to change a lot of these coppers to these. Can I not use a stone cutter to make copper trapdoors? Okay, so upon further research, the crafting recipe for copper trapdoors is actually just to make them out of the copper ingots, and then from there, you oxidize them separately, and there is quite literally no way to make copper trapdoors out of blocks, which kind of seems somewhat unintuitive to me. I don't know. I love copper, but this is a gigantic pain in the butt, because I just oxidized like 2 stacks of copper, and I can't even use any of that, so I guess I need to collect more copper now, and then I need to turn it into trapdoors, and then I need to oxidize it. Luckily, I still have a little bit of raw copper left over, so I can do this.
2,000 years later.
Dude, my house is just like a safe haven for mobs. Get out of here. Okay, my copper trapdoors are basically done oxidizing finally. This was such a gigantic waste of time. I think the build is looking pretty nice from back here already, though. Look at that. You can't see it. It's behind the tree. Look at that. The colors blend so well from back here. It's going to look very nice when there's 2 of them, and there's fans on them. Also, now that this wheat field is almost grown in, it is also looking quite cool. I'm glad I covered this whole thing in wheat, I guess. Okay, so for the shape of this fan, well, first things first, I need to put the way for the fan to attach on here. I want to use this cherry log. I don't really know why. I think it just kind of looks cool. Then slap a trapdoor just like that. Boom. Then I'm going to attach it with an andesite wall, because it kind of looks like it could be metal if you squint, since I assume that this is the part that's spinning. I don't know. Anyway, there you go, another cherry log. And right here, I will put a button. Okay, so for this fan, I kind of want it to look very curvy, and I don't know how to describe it, I guess. I just want it to look very smooth and curvy and stuff. So Or that's the exact same description. That was not an improvement. I guess very fluid and organic maybe is a good way to describe it. It's going to be a little tricky to build up here. So starting with stair and a trapdoor down like that, and then another trapdoor right here, followed up by another stair, and then followed up by another stair, and then you'll never guess, another stair. And then last thing, trapdoor here and a trapdoor there, and that's one of the blades complete. And just to make sure it's got a little bit of texture, I kind of want to revert some of these back one stage so that it kind of matches with the pink. I don't know, there's a bit of color scheme going on here, so that's why I did this. So I'm just going to do that, and then use some of this honeycomb to wax these guys, and boom, one blade done. I also think the aged back ones, whatever these are called, waxed, weathered ones, I don't know, it kind of looks like rust a little bit, which is cool since these are supposed to be old and worn. So I would generally say for kind of organic stuff like this, it's definitely a good idea to try and plan it out in creative before building it in survival, because if I were to try and design this in survival, it would be very, very difficult. So I did design these blades in creative first, which is making this building process much, much easier. And that's 2 blades done now. So now blade number 3 is just going to be the same thing, kind of facing in this direction. All right, that's 3 done, and the last one over here. All right, that should do it for the propeller blade. I think it is all done. And with that propeller blade being done, the whole build is now done, actually. Ah, shoot, no. I keep accidentally ruining my field. I'm gonna have to come back and fix all of this. And look at this thing. I really like this build. I think it's really good. I really, really, really like the shape of the propeller that we got here. I spent an absurd amount of time designing the propeller here. like the rest of this build is pretty simple, so it was pretty easy to construct, but man, this propeller, or fan, or whatever, took me a solid 20-30 minutes just to come up with this shape right here. And it seems pretty simple, but I tried a whole bunch of different things. I was trying to use slabs and walls and stuff like that, and ultimately the simple design ended up looking the best. If you squint your eyes and look really hard, it almost looks like it's moving. And really, this build is pretty simple. Like, if we take a look at some of the other sides here, you can see that there's basically nothing going on in the entire rest of this build. It's got a super simple design, not much detail. That's pretty intentional because, for one, these are just windmill. They're not supposed to be like incredibly detailed, and they're not supposed to be like super eye-catching. But on this build even, I think that these fans are really attention grabbers. First of all, the blue color really stands out against everything else we have here. Also the shapes. Your eyes are just drawn there immediately, which means the rest of the build being simple just helps this propeller pop even more. Or fan. I keep calling it a propeller. A fan. We'll call it a fan. It's very nice. And the rest of the build looks nice also, don't get me wrong. But I'm happy with this overall. I think the build turned out pretty well. And I'm just going to go ahead and get another one put down over there. I'm also not 100% sure how helpful that segment was watching me build this live. Because again, it's hard for me to kind of explain what I'm thinking when I'm building these things. Because to be honest with you, I don't really know what I'm thinking all the time. So I may have just kind of described what I was doing. But oh well, I tried, no promises. I told you it might be weird, but hopefully that was a little bit helpful. Anyway, I kind of just want to get this second one done, right? Like, I want to get it done. One more big project today. Let's just get right to it. check this view out. Hey, I must say I really outdid myself on this one. This entire area now is looking really cool. I love the wheat. It looks so good. It's like so nice and I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, I'm happy with the build. That's really it. That's all. Also, I replaced out this stair from the pink wood, the cherry blossom wood, into this whatever this particular copper is called. I don't really remember. I swear I play this game a lot. I swear. Despite not knowing what it's called, I do think it looks a lot better than the pink. It just blends much better. Of course, on the inside, there is nothing. Shocker. But man, this stuff took a long time. This was a very Minecraft YouTuber-y episode of me. I mean, I mined off camera, and then 50% of the video was pretty much time lapses. But I've done so much work, I'm running out of time to make the video. I know I've done, like, a lot of building recently, especially in this episode, but like, what do you expect? I'm a builder. I don't know what you want me to do. That being said, in the next episode, I probably am going to take a little bit of a break from all of the building to work with these guys. You two villagers are going to be very helpful in the next episode, all right? You'll finally get out of this fence, and you'll probably be put into another fence or a fence-like structure. I need to really start working with villagers. I want to get all of my gear fully enchanted, like really fully enchanted, like maxed out. I mean, everything's fully enchanted, but maxed enchantments and stuff like that. Generally speaking, there's a whole bunch of useful stuff you can get from villagers, and if I die, again, which is very likely, then I'll be able to easily restock all of my tools by trading with villagers. Not to mention, they give you very useful building blocks. What are you doing down here? You're supposed to be upstairs. Oh, he's going back upstairs. Good job, buddy. The other good thing about getting villagers is that I'll get infinite name tags, which will be really useful, but also I asked for a name for my horse a couple of episodes ago, and I want to name my horse, but I don't have any name tags. The first two name suggestions I got were Colonel and Skipper, which I think are both cool, so I've decided to combine them, and my horse will be named Colonel Skipper. I'm such a great pet owner. I'm not really sure horses count as pets, but you know. I mean, who wouldn't want to be named Colonel Skipper? Whoa, sunset. So whenever I acquire a name tag, I will officially name my horse Colonel Skipper. When I was building this second windmill, I think at some point I accidentally put some text on one of these signs. So I want to make sure that that's fine. Yeah, I definitely accidentally put some text. So I want to erase that because it looks kind of dumb. What did I write here? Oh, isn't that crazy that I accidentally wrote that? Wow, that is so I can't believe I accidentally wrote this. Wow. Honestly, I'm starting to think this is a really good touch to this build. I think I'm going to leave it. I can't believe I wrote this by accident. That is so crazy. Sometimes you just accidentally keep hitting keys on your keyboard and some words are just said. But anyway, that's honestly great advice. You guys should really consider subscribing. And on that note, that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, seriously consider actually subscribing because I make videos every week. Most likely they'll come out on time and you don't want to miss them. It doesn't hurt you to subscribe, and there's a great incentive to subscribing to my channel. It's that it makes me feel all warm and bubbly inside, so you should do it. But I think this area behind me is coming along really nicely. We're getting pretty close. This island here is almost completely finished. Ignore that island right there, but we will get to that one day. Next episode will be villager time, and I'm sure that'll be a blast. I'm sure I'll have so much fun, and that nothing could possibly ever go wrong when you're working with villagers. Am I right?